Welcome back to this special edition of Our World with Black Enterprise. In 100 shows, we've explored major issues of our time. Our World cameras caught the best that humanity has to offer and the worst that nature can create. We were there for the floods of Katrina.
We saw Ms. Ethel Freeman in the elderly African-American woman in the chair, but there was no story. It's an image. When I saw that picture, my grandmother's 100 years old and is still alive today in Atlanta, Georgia. So when I saw Miss Ethel Freeman slumped over dead in that wheelchair, I saw my grandmother. And I said, I want to get the story. And all I had was a picture. So we found her son, Herbert Freeman, got the story.
And the earthquake in Haiti.
We're dealing with a little kid here. We don't even know if they 8 or 9 years old. You know what I mean? This is the reality of what we're dealing with right now.
I went underground for a bit, you know, picking up bodies, bringing them to morgues, digging holes, burying certain people, things like that. That's what we was going through, you know. Everything that you used to sing about and you used to talk about, that you believe about, it gets tested at that moment. Because it's like, you know, you wore that flag on your back at the Grammys, you know, with the Fugees, and that's the first time they saw the Haitian flag on the TV. But what does that mean, though, if you can't be on the ground right now picking up your own brothers and sisters, you see?
In our years, we've covered race.
For the young brothers and sisters who have, like I had, a rage at the center of my soul, how do you transform that rage or channel that rage into positive venues?
We questioned responsibility.
We have to take an immediate responsibility for the images that we portray of ourselves. We cannot expect for others to respect us if we don't respect ourselves. And therefore, we go out of the way to show the positive images of African Americans as much as we possibly can.
And targeted violence in our community.
I think we've got to say enough. We've got to stand up. We've got to, this is not about just saving a child. This is about saving thousands of kids.
We asked, are the police friend or foe?
The concept of policing is a friend. But when you have those agencies that cannot properly monitor police behavior, that's when it becomes a foe. And that's the aspect that we want to fight against.
We tackled topics from the troubling actions of some black athletes.
You have to be a role model to the masses. You have to set an example that people would want themselves to follow, or people would expect of themselves, expect of their children, etc. And especially when you are put in the public eye, I don't think it's fair to them, but nevertheless, it's a responsibility that isn't going anywhere.
To images of black women in music videos.
Images of black women, I think, have progressively gotten worse. They haven't gotten better. It's not like in having this conversation, all of a sudden the women are more dressed and not as scantily clad. It's not like they're not glorified props. They continue to be these characters that are constantly degraded in these videos. So yeah, we need to start having the conversation until things change.
If we say something degrading, it's not like we're talking about all women. You have women that definitely respect themselves, and then you have some women that don't respect themselves.
I just think different because of the fact that I was raised by my mother, and my grandmother was around a lot, and I seen, you know, strong, powerful women, and it's just like I got another image of what a woman should be and what women are.
And considered the relevance of black leadership, from education to mentoring to bullying. Nothing escaped our focus.
Too many educators and adults across the country shirk it off, shrug it off as if it's a rite of passage. The unspeakable tragedies over the last several months, what Ms. Stone has been through with what happened to her son, tells us that this myth that it's a rite of passage, we need to flip that.
I just can't take it anymore because people are not paying attention to the pain and the sadness that's in
our children?
Well, the day I found out that I was HIV positive, I had been in the hospital for 2.5 weeks, in and out of ICU. It was a knock at the door. And I told the doctor he could come in, and he said, I have something more serious to tell you. Me being 19 years old, I said, am I pregnant? And he said, no, you're not pregnant, you're HIV positive.
These are the questions you need to ask nowadays. What's your status? Not your loan status. Right. What's your HIV/AIDS status? Do you sleep with women and men? Those are hard questions to ask, and if your self-esteem and your personal power is not in the right place, it's hard to say that to a man because you want one, and if you got one, you want to keep him.
Our world was witness to an extraordinary milestone as two major civil rights organizations, the NAACP and the National Urban League, reached their 100th anniversaries. And we took pride as our parent organization, Black Enterprise, celebrated its 40th anniversary. We've had a great first 100 shows here at Our World with Black Enterprise. We hope you stay with us as we continue the journey. In case you missed any episodes, you can catch them at blackenterprise.com. I'm Marc Lamont Hill. Check me out on Facebook or follow me on Twitter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.